sometimes the world just be moving, and um, I sit back and I just look to see what's going on, and the world is going to keep moving, but people stay in the same place. And one of the things that I look at, and I probably may ask people who I come across, is like, what is your like purpose at this point? Like, what is the meaning of life to you? With people passing away so quickly, there have been people I've gone to college with in high school, and they were just gone in the blink of an eye. And I'm like, damn, like they never got a chance to experience. So when I look at life, I look at life as like it's precious. It's one of those things that you can't get back, and you want to get the max out of it. So I'm not saying that marriage and having children is for everyone, but I do think about what is it that you want to achieve while you're here when you can. And people think that their life is extended. They think they got 85, 90, 120 years. And so after, I think there are different stages and levels for people. But when are you going to be able to graduate? Like, when are you going to experience something different? When are you going to welcome, open your mind, tap into this, experience this? Like, when are you going to truly get the max out of life? You'll look up and see the same people going to this, all they doing is clubbing and clubbing and clubbing. See people, children just growing, and they have not yet spent some quality time with them. So now they are teenagers, they're adults, and you still have yet to develop a relationship with them. Or maybe you try to get that relationship once they go pro or once they become successful. And then now you want to try to tap back into their life. We see a lot of times with celebrities, but it happens more often than we see, because it's just a form of reality. So I think people need to, whatever that looks like for you, and I'm not here to tell you what that should be, but you want to get the max out of life. You want to think past what you've been thinking. You got to understand, if you're looking at everything in the grand perspective, we have been conditioned to think certain ways. And so it might not be your fault, but at the same time, it is your fault. Um, you have to tap into the logic of thought. Um, there are things that are happening that you may not realize is happening because you're operating on this one level of frequency. Like, you have to try to tap out of that to understand what's really going on in this world. And I hope I'm making sense, because sometimes I just be sitting here thinking a little bit deeper than what most average humans think. But there's a lot going on, and people don't realize it. Just imagine speaking to somebody who is just lost and clueless, and they're lost and clueless, but they don't know. And you have to feel comfortable knowing that you know what you're talking about and you know what you're seeing, regardless of what they say. And sometimes you can't change folks if folks don't want to be changed. You can't get them to think past the mindset that they thinking if they don't want it. Just let them be. You can try a little bit. You can come back, piggyback around. Maybe they might have had grafts or experienced some things in their life, and you can come back, and then maybe you might be able to give them a little bit of gems. But if they don't want it, then it is what it is. I'm all one of the things, and I've spoken to some people before on the panel, and I told them I don't want to lose my mind. I want to have complete control of my mind. And there are people who have always been lost since birth. They just never been able to grasp anything that's going on any type of frequency. They just have the same wavelength throughout entire life, and then next they go, and that's it. And so when they get to the funeral, if they can afford it or have it or be able to prep for it, and they have nothing to celebrate. They don't have they didn't have a quality life. Think about when you have to make the decisions with our relatives and our family about what it is that we want to do. Are they living a quality life? And this is when they don't have any functioning mind, or the body parts and the organs are shutting down. Why aren't people thinking about that now? Why they exist in, like, the quality of life? What does that look like for you? I do think that's a beautiful thing when you can have children, because you have people to look after you if you raise them right. The key is if you raise them right, because if you don't raise them right, then y'all will never have a relationship, and they can care less. You'll be in a funeral home, and other folks will be taking care of you, because your kids never care for you, because you never cared for them when they was young. So I just think there's a lot of self-thinking and reflection that we have to do. And it's not too late to start. We got to look back and understand and look into how our life developed and who we became to be now, in order to figure out what we need to do better moving forward. And I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna land my plane with this. I know I'm long-winded. I'm often am long-winded, right? Um, just think about what that quality of life looks like for you, whatever it may be. If you're satisfied knowing that if you was to exit tomorrow, that you had that quality life, you was able to do whatever you want to do, then good for you. If you answer in a different way, then I suggest you get to it. You get to it and you obtain the quality life. It's not just gonna fall into your lap. You got to go get it, and you have to be open. So if you need some healing, get you some healing. There's some beautiful people out here, man. It's some amazing relationships that you can still develop, and you can have the life that you want and you desire. And then what does that look like for you too? I don't think money is this is my opinion, man. I just don't think money is everything. It is a tool that we utilize, and I do think that it's important on earth, but I think you just got to know how to use it, get the knowledge, and understand how it works and how it moves and how it flows. And once you do that, then I think you can apply it to obtaining that quality life. So that's it, man. I ain't got nothing else to say.
I just want to give one quick story real quick. And hopefully this will sit for the fellas, because the realization of this for me was huge. So growing up in Chicago, there were a lot of guys that literally lived their entire life and never went outside of the city. They never seen outside of the state. All they knew was the block, to the point where they were born there and was literally unalive there. There was a point where I had went to my OG and I had told her, I'm like, man, Mom, I want to write a book. She was like, boy, you ain't been nowhere. And at that moment, I'm like, damn, like that's harsh as hell. But then I thought about it and I remembered them, and it was like, matter of fact, you're right. Because the key is to life is exposure. And if you're not exposed to things that's outside of your box, then you won't live a quality life. It's impossible for you to, because all you know is this small box that you're limiting yourself to. We're limitless beings. We're able to do anything. So if you confine yourself to only being in this one space and never truly being able to search and find who you are and what you can do and achieve in life, then you damn near just wasting the air.